want to know who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Oh yeah, Mrs. Obama thought that was pretty cute, didn't she? Ha ha, he. It's very funny when you're standing before a crowd of uninformed voters that are emotionally charged with you. I'm Professor D, and welcome to another episode of Receipts with Professor D. Remember to like and subscribe and share our channel with your friends and relatives and loved ones so that we can get the word out there about what we're going to do for 2028 with the goodness of God on our side. Go to www.abetterway2028.com. Like I always say, y'all don't have much time, so we're going to get right down into this, into the nitty gritty. Hope and joy will not make my 401k go from being negative to positive, or from being at a high level of revenue and income and interest to being high, back from it being negative in the last few years under this Biden administration. Hope and joy is not going to pay the mortgage. It's not going to pay the $2,000 I pay a month on my condo. It's not going to pay y'all's $500, $600, $700 a month BMW payment or Mercedes-Benz payment. It's not going to pay the rent. It's not going to pay these high gas prices. Have y'all forgotten how high these gas prices are? It's not going to pay for the high food bill when you go into Kroger and Food Lion and Walmart grocery stores. It's not going to pay for when you go out to dinner. I remember being in the hood and going to K&W with my four members of my family, me, my wife, and my two kids, and it cost us $28 to feed all four of us 4 meals. Now it costs that much to feed just 2 people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not making it up. This is Professor D, and you know I bring the receipts. Y'all know I'm not making this stuff up. Have y'all forgotten? Or because she is black right now, she's black. She's been Indian when it was convenient. But because she's black right now, you all have forgotten the turmoil that you're going through, the financial stress that you're going through. Go ahead. When I go into, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. And I'm in the transportation business. And when I go to like a truck stop, I'm going to walk in there because it takes me $200 to $300 at a time to fill up my transportation vehicle. So when I go into the truck stop to pay for it, they say, is this going to be cash or card? I'm going to say, I'm paying with hope and joy. Y'all try it. And let's all see how that works out for us. I'm Professor D, and I bring the receipts. Now, Mrs. Obama thought that was pretty funny. So let's talk about this. What are black jobs? Let's look at this. Now, when these illegal immigrants come into America, they put them in the hood. They do not send them to y'all's well-to-do. They do not put them in your suburban areas where they got your $1 million homes. They send them to the hood. Now, with these people going to the hood, they're not going to have ample transportation. So they're going to look for work sooner or later. That means that they're going to be looking for work right there as close as they are. Now, if they're in the hood, they're going to look for jobs in the hood. Now, who works in the hood? Our black folks, we work in our own hoods. This is common sense, guys. It's not rocket science. So, wait a minute. They sent the illegal immigrants one day to Martha's Vineyard. Now, who lives in Martha's Vineyard? Mrs. Obama and Mr. Obama. Those illegal immigrants were shipped out of Martha's Vineyard less than 24 hours. Now they have a sign up saying, "We welcome all people, we love all people." That's great until they got those illegal immigrants in there and they shipped them out the very next day. You're not going to have no homeless illegal immigrants next to Mr. and Mrs. Obama's multi-million-dollar mansion.
Let's bring in the blogger to the nation, the columnist of the Daily Telegraph, Tim Blair. Good to catch up with you again, Tim. We've got to start in Martha's Vineyard with all those rich Democrats up there. They're all in favour of open borders. Let anybody in as long as they don't come to our island.
Absolutely. I was just reading a few minutes ago the Martha's Vineyard newspaper, and there was a letter in there, an email comment from a resident who said that in the very early stages, he'd volunteered to pay for a week's accommodation at one of the island's many Airbnbs. And he was knocked back immediately. Officials said, that won't be required, they're not staying. And he asks, quite rightly, how early was this decision made? Like, it seems they had a plan in place. Like, as soon as these horrible immigrants arrived to a place which, as you just pointed out before the break, had signs all over it welcoming refugees and saying no people are illegal, they got rid of them within 44 hours, Chris. It's unbelievable.
It is extraordinary. And it kind of puts the lie to this comment that we tore apart last week from the Vice President, who's supposed to be taking the lead on securing the border, Kamala Harris. Have a look.
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
She just knew she had to say the words secure border, even though it's absurd.
It's, if anyone with functioning eyeballs knows that is a lie. I mean, there's interviews, Fox had some interviews with people coming over the border, you know, the actual illegal immigrants themselves saying, no, of course it's not secure. We just crossed here. We're illegal.
So they want to know what black jobs are? They want to make fun of that? Of Mr. Trump saying what are black jobs? Well, these are black jobs right here, because I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina right now, and I'm looking at some work being done on a home right here on Martin Luther King Drive in the heart of the hood in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, you want to say, what are black jobs? These are jobs that black craftsmen should have been working on this home. But yet, there is these illegal immigrants, or Mexicans or Hispanics, I don't know what they are. I just know it's not black men working on this home. So, what are black jobs? They're right here in the heart of the hood. Now, a black contractor would have done that job on this home for, per employee, maybe $20, $22 an hour, $25. But I bet you anything, these guys are probably working for less than half of that, $9, $10, $11. But it's nowhere near what a black contractor and his people would be doing it for. So you want to know how they're taking black people's jobs? This is a black job. Now let's listen to this young lady. She's going to explain it a little better than I can.
When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities. And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing literally everywhere else in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job. Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth.
Wow. So, Mr. and Mrs. Obama, while you're in front of this crowd at the Democrat National Convention, and you're very good at being comedians right now and trying to figure out or understand or make jokes about black jobs, this is what we mean by black jobs. Okay, let's go into the next one. Bleach. Mr. Trump told everybody to go and drink some Clorox. Oh my God. Go drink some bleach. Is this what the man really said? If you went out and drunk some bleach to kill that virus, you were stupid. Did anybody do it? Didn't anybody do it? No one went out and drank bleach. No one went out and drank Clorox. If you did, you were absolutely stupid. This is what the man said. He was talking to scientists who were working on ways to combat or beat the virus. He asked the scientists, he said, you guys have been working on disinfectant and infrared light. Infrared light and disinfectant. And you all know that in all the disinfectants that we buy, what does it say on the label? It kills 99.99% of all germs, correct? No one told you to ingest it. You don't drink Formula 409. You don't drink Texas. You don't drink your bathroom cleaner, your toilet cleaner, your tub cleaner. It's absolutely stupid. I can't believe that any of you all fell for that. Now, what did he say to the scientists? He said, you're working on disinfectant that may be used to go inside the body and fight the bacteria. And he said, you're working on infrared light that may be able to go inside the body and fight the bacteria. So you guys are working on it. Have you made any progress? Will we be able to utilize any of this with this ongoing fight with this virus? Here's the video, guys. Take a look at for exactly what the man said himself.
So I ask Bill a question that probably some of you are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
Now you heard it for yourself. The news, as I said before, is your enemy. CBS, ABC, NBC, NPR, CNN, MSNBC. All of these guys are your enemies. They tell you what you want to hear to play on your feelings because they're all on the side of the Democrats. So they're going to tell you every time Trump pisses on the ground or jaywalks that they want him to go to prison. But when Biden tells you, but when they tell you that Trump told you to go drink Clorox and bleach, I'm not even going to finish this. It doesn't even deserve any discussion. You just heard what the man said. Jesus Christ. Dictator. Mr. Trump is going to be a dictator. Ladies and gentlemen, our United States of America, our system is set up with a system of checks and balances. The very complicated setup of that alone will not allow for anyone to be a dictator. Trump said on day one, if he's reelected, he would be a dictator. Just the first day. What does he mean by that? He said, well, on day one, I'm going to close down that border. I'm going to shut it down. That will be a dictator type decision making. Only for that one day. He doesn't plan on being a dictator for the rest of his term. Our system will not let that happen. We have the judiciary, we have the House of Representatives, we have the Senate, and we have the Supreme Court. All of these all of these systems of checks and balances will not allow anyone to be a dictator. Not even Obama, not even the baby black Jesus.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's not retribution. I'm gonna be, you know, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not gonna be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator, okay? That sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president.
So look, it was just a metaphor. It was just symbolism. I'm going to shut down that border for a day. I'm going to be a dictator for a day. Guys, please do some Googling. I hate to say that word. Please do some research. That's not what the guy meant. You just heard his own words where he asked the scientists, what are you working on? Will it be effective and will it be usable in the near future? Children in the cages. Oh my God. It came up under Obama. But because you all love him so much, you don't want to put it on him. Here's a photo of Obama having the kids in the cages. This was 2014. Who was president then? It was Obama. He built the cages. So the kids were in the cages under Trump. All right. The kids were in the cages, are still in the cages under President Biden. So if you wanted to put Trump in the prison and throw him under the prison, I said throw, oh my God, throw him under the prison for the kids in the cages, then you got to put Obama down there with him and Biden also. But see, you like them too because they're Democrats. So I guess it's okay if the kids are in the cages under them. Guys, listen, I know your hate for Trump overrules your common sense. But for all of you all who wanted to throw Trump under the prison for having the kids in the cages, you're going to have to put Obama in there too and Biden. Here's the proof. They're still in the cages now. There's a reason for kids being in the cages and being separated from their parents. It is because they're not really parents. They had to separate the kids from the adults that were with them because some of those adults were not those kids' parents. They were merely called coyotes. They were just trafficking those kids to make money and pretending that they were parents. You separate the kids from those so-called parents. You interview the kids, you interview the parents. Any kid knows who his parent is, and you will be able to find out the truth, whether that's a parent or a coyote. That's the whole reasoning for separating. That's the whole reason for separating them, guys. Please, let's do some homework. Let's get out of our feelings and our emotions. Now, they're still in the cages under President Biden. I guess the Democrats can say or do anything, and you all will fall for it because they play you for fools because they know you're not going to look up anything. You're not going to do any research or homework. You're just going to take their word for it. ABC, CNN, CBS, NBC, NPR, all of these news stations are not truthful anymore. They are second-hand cohorts with the Democrats. So they're not going to give you the honest truth, guys. Do a little bit of homework, a little bit of research. The kids are still in the cages. Project 2025. That is done by a group called the Heritage Foundation. It is not Mr. Trump's. Mr. Trump did not come up with 2025. The Democrats want you to believe that he did because there are some things in there that's great and there's some things in there that's not so great. But Mr. Trump had nothing to do with it. It's under a group called Heritage 2025. Now, the problem with this, guys, is that the Democrats don't have anything to run on. Kamala can't run on her own record, nor Biden's, because they still have an economy that has us having high gas prices and high food prices. So they don't want to run on that. And what they want to do is lie about Trump. So they tell y'all that Trump has Project 2025. If this is the way they got to win, my God, you know what? I almost sometimes want to feel like, you know what? Let them have this country. Let them have this government. They want to lie this badly to win. But God will have his day, and we will see what his preference will be. But the Democrats lie. 2025 project has nothing to do with Mr. Trump. So you guys look it up, look up Heritage Foundation, and then go to Agenda 47. You will see what the Heritage Foundation has under that 2025 plan, and you'll see what Mr. Trump has under Agenda 47, which is his plan. MAGA, Make America Great Again. What does that really mean? Make America great again. You know what it means? It means Mr. Trump is going to take us back to an era where we were slaves, or take us back to an era of Jim Crow, where we had black people having to go to the back of the restaurant to enter, or black people having to go to a black water fountain and white people have a white people water fountain. That's what it means, guys. Really? No one man can do that. Seriously, guys. Please get out of your feelings and your emotions and think for a change. No one man in America can take us back to that. No one man, no army can make us go back to that era or Jim Crow. What it really means is make America great again. Go back to when America made its own products, when we invented things, when we did our own manufacturing instead of having it made in China or Singapore or somewhere else where they have slave labor, real slave labor. It means go back to when we had companies like R.J. Reynolds and DuPont, Texfi. We made everything here. And well, they say, well, the prices are going to be high if we make it here. So be it. But at least if we make it here, we will be employing our own American citizens, and we will have a lower unemployment rate, and everyone will have the pride of making it in America. American pride. That's what Mr. Trump means. Don't be stupid and think that there is one man that can make us go back to slavery. Of all the foolish things I've ever heard anybody say. January 6th, the insurrection, the so-called insurrection. Oh, God, man. Okay. Insurrection is an act of treason where armed citizens go and try to take over the government. in the January 6th situation, there were rioters, and they got a little heated, and they broke into the Capitol. But Mr. Trump did not tell them to do that. I listened to the entire speech. I listened to the entire speech that Mr. Trump made, all 3 hours of it. Did any of you all listen to the entire 3 hours? I was looking for buzzwords. I was looking for words that he could say that could mean something different. I was looking for innuendos. I was looking for words that could mean something else while he was saying one thing or another. I was looking for dog whistles. I did not hear it. I was looking for it. I wanted to hear it because I wanted to be able to prove everybody right who hates Mr. Trump. And I would be like, yeah, he told those people to go and break into the Capitol. But here is what exactly the gentleman said. He said, march peacefully and protest. March to the Capitol peacefully and protest. Here's what the man said.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections, but whether or not they stand strong for our country.
Wait a minute, Professor D. He also said, fight for your rights. He also said, fight. Okay, you know what? Let's put Mr. Trump in prison because he said, fight for your rights. Now, when we put Mr. Trump in prison, we're going to have to put in there also Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all kinds of civil rights leaders. You know who else is going to have to be put in there? Jesus Christ. Because the one thing that all of these people had in common is that they said, fight for your rights. Jesus said it in a different way. But these civil rights leaders of today said, fight for your rights. Guys, it's also another metaphor. It doesn't mean throw up fists and let's go to town on this. It means symbolically, get out there, march and protest and make it be known what your feelings are, what your thoughts are, and what you expect out of your American leaders. Well, some people say, well, Professor D, we know what he meant. Oh, so all of you all are now in the business of mind reading or interpreting what's in somebody's heart. And you might say, well, yeah, we know what he meant by that when he said go and fight and march and protest. We know what he meant. All right, let's go with that with your mind readers. All right. Someone said this. Someone said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Who said that? I bring the receipts, I swear. Y'all don't even have to guess. You know who said that. If you don't vote for Biden, are you not black? Because there's a whole heck of a lot of people who are not voting for Kamala Harris or Biden or the Democrats, or however you want to put that. So y'all can read minds now. Tell me what this meant. There was a president that said, if you take the vaccine, you will not get sick and you won't die. Who said it? I'm waiting. Where's the Jeopardy music? Dun, 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 dun. Who said it?
The various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
When you Google it and figure out who said it, then you will know that this man has death on his hands. You won't get sick and you won't die. Under this man, after people took that vaccine, a lot more got sick and a lot more died. Did he lie to you? Or was it a metaphor or was it symbolism? Y'all decide. Because y'all are in the business of mind reading and heart reading now. This man also said you can't go into a 7-Eleven without having an Indian accent. Wow, what a racist statement that is, isn't it, guys? Was it a metaphor? Or was it realism? Or was it symbolism? Or was he talking about Miss Kamala Harris because she's Indian? So I guess she's welcome into an 7-Eleven with her Indian accent. Come on, guys. Let's be serious. This guy, and you all know who it is, he's got blood on his hands. So let's begin to determine the difference between metaphors and symbolism versus actual real racism. Now let's talk about Mr. Trump saying, well, if you don't reelect me, there's going to be a bloodbath. Some of this is so hilarious. It's going to be a bloodbath. In other words, if Trump loses the election, he's going to rally a whole bunch of racist rednecks around the country, and they're going to attack all of you all, and they're going to attack the Capitol again, and they're going to cause an insurrection, and there's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be killing. We can't be serious if this is what you thought was going to happen. Mr. Trump, when he said bloodbath, once again, guys, the news is your enemy. The news stations are your enemies. Don't listen to them. Everything that they say, please go back and fact check it, do some research, do some homework. All right? Look at the other side. This is one of the things that I teach people as Professor D. Whatever you think on this side of the coin, just flip it over just a little bit, see what's over there. And after you have been able to see both sides, then maybe you can make an intelligent, informed decision about policies and where your country is going and where your leaders are trying to take you. But Mr. Trump said there's going to be a bloodbath. He was talking about the auto industry, guys, because he said, well, if I'm not elected, then Biden is going to, or whomever is elected, was Biden at the time, now it's Kamala, are going to let the other countries run all over us in our automobile market. And he has plans to challenge the other countries in our automobile market. I'll let him tell you in his own words so you all can see it, because I'm sure CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and NPR, and the other ones, they didn't tell you all this. Here's what the man had to say for himself, and then you judge what he said.
Tonight, Republicans forced to defend former President Donald Trump's controversial comment while discussing economic tariffs that there would be a bloodbath if he lost the 2024 election.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it.
Trump's campaign pushing back, saying he was only talking economics, writing Joe Biden's insane EV mandate will slaughter the American auto industry. Even Mike Pence, who says he will not endorse his former boss, coming to Trump's defense.
The president was clearly talking about the impact of imports devastating the American automotive industry.
Somebody told me, they said, well, Professor D, what did you think about Trump telling Mexico they were going to pay for the wall? Mexico didn't pay for that wall. Of course they didn't. They paid for it, though, in another way, not just with dollars. Mr. Trump said, Mexico, I'm going to make you pay for this wall. How am I going to do it? Mr. Trump boldly told Mexico, you're going to help me close this border or shut it down or stem or slow down the rate of the illegal immigrants coming into America. So how did he do this? How did he make Mexico pay for it? He said, if you don't pay for it, I'm going to cut off the subsidies and the money that America sends to Mexico. That's how they paid for it, y'all. What Mexico did and what Mr. Trump told them to do, what President Trump told them to do, is enact a law that we have on our books, which is called remain in Mexico, or remain for you illegal immigrants. When you try to immigrate to the United States for asylum, first of all, you have to stop at the first country that is an asylum country. These people were coming from Venezuela or countries lower than Mexico. So when they came into Mexico, they had to stay there. Mr. Trump made Mexico make them stay there. Therefore, they're not entering into the United States of America. So that's how they paid for it symbolically. They were going to get cut off from American funds if they did not do this act. I wish Mr. Trump would come across and explain this the way that I'm explaining it. But he's not doing it. But now you guys get it. You're informed now because you're getting the receipts with Professor D. Trump said, I can stand in the middle of a block and shoot people, and my supporters will still vote for me. That's right, y'all. Obama can do it too. He can stand on the block and shoot people, and black folks will still vote for him. That's not what Mr. Trump meant. Guys, once again, it was a metaphor. Once again, it was symbolism. Kind of like people who believe that the animals and monsters in Revelation are actually real monsters and animals. It's symbolism for different countries. For those of you who all read your Bible. But Mr. Trump used symbolism and a metaphor. Of course, he couldn't murder people and anyone still vote for him. No one is that stupid. That's about like drinking Clorox or bleach, guys. Are we this stupid? Are we really this stupid? I'm not going to go on any further than that. But that's what he meant by it. It means it was symbolism for loyalty or belief in your candidate or belief in your leader. He didn't actually mean he was going to shoot somebody. Once again, guys, to end this, I'll tell you, the news agencies are they're your biggest enemies. You can't take what they say anymore. You can't take it. This is not the era of the news guys back in the day, Walter Cronkite and those guys. They did real journalism. These people today are just puppets of the Democrat Party. I don't know why they love the Democrat Party so much. That includes Google, Facebook, and almost all other social media except for X and Rumble, that will let people say whatever they think they need to say. But the rest of these, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all of these control what you say. If you say something against the Democrats or Obama or against Kamala or against Biden, they will cut you off. So Republicans and conservatives don't really get to express the word that they have freely. But the news people are your enemies. Don't listen to them. And if you do, fact check them. Check everything that they say. Always go online. You'll be able to find some information that goes against what they say. And then you will be able to make an informed decision. But these people are not your friends. So, guys, look. Please like and share and subscribe to our channel. That way we get to get this word out, because you all really need to go to our website, abetterway2028.com, www.abetterway2028.com, so that you can see what the future can be, what God has in store for us. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is not it, what we're going through right now. We're about to bring on the tribulation, and that will be hell. The proverbial hell to pay, that will be hell to pay. So I'm Professor D, and I always bring the receipts. And like I always say, God bless you. Peace, love, grace, and may God be with you. With everyone, have a blessed day.